Good morning, good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Welcome, everybody, to the RPG Limit Break podcast. My name is Netara, and I have two wonderful friends with me here today. We have my wonderful co-host and, partner in crime, let's say crime, Bob the Ninja Goldfish.
It's Cinco de Mayo, and I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee.
Coffee's delicious.
Definitely.
And tea.
Coffee.
And
no,
also...
not tea. Tea will kill me.
Okay, fair. We also have our...
tea.
I'll drink it for you.
I'm an Englishman allergic to tea. Deal with that.
The irony is peak. We also have our amazing guest for today, riversmccown.
Hello. I'm not allergic to tea, so I can drink tea with you.
Oh, good. Can you drink coffee?
I can.
Okay, well then you're kind of our in between there. I also can't drink coffee because it makes me ill. So you can have each of our. We'll trade.
There's a joke here to be made, like the Zoolander thing. I'm not an Abby Turner. It's like I'm not an Abby drinker.
I swear. So Rivers here is actually in the amazing position of being our finale runner for RPG Limit Break this year. And what is it you're going to be running for us, Rivers?
Game you might have heard of, Netara. It's called Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, it's on my shirt. Wait, no, sorry, that's 6.
Fun fact, when we were trying to put this podcast to go live in YouTube, YouTube doesn't know what basic Final Fantasy IV is. It only knows the various different versions of Final Fantasy IV, which is
it's ridiculous how many remakes and ports there have been of this game. We're just playing the original Super Nintendo Final Fantasy II US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it definitely is even the Super Nintendo version and not even the Super Famicom version. So,
which there is a real difference, yeah.
There is a huge difference. Do you want to tell about the difference between those?
Sure. So Final Fantasy II was ported over here to be a simpler game, meaning they took away a lot of the commands, a lot of the kind of items that could cast spells are gone in FF2 US compared to Final Fantasy IV. So, sometimes that's easy, sometimes that's hard. They also changed the boss HP pools, so you get fights that are, in the Japanese speedrun, a lot more difficult, like Ruby is just a total butt in that run. And in our run of FF2, the dolls, because we don't have the items that can multi-target them, are a lot harder. So it kind of just changed everything up.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm also a kind of a Final Fantasy IV speedrunner when I actually do it. And yeah, the dolls was the big tripping point for me learning these runs. It was just like, the dolls. Everyone's like, why do you hate the dolls? And I'm like, they're awful. And yeah, like you say, it's because they don't have those easy items like some of the other bosses do.
They're not dolls, they're action figures.
No, I think in this case they are actually dolls.
Golbez never called them action figures, and neither did Luca, so canonically, I feel like they're dolls.
Yeah, they're Luca's dolls even.
Yes.
They're just a little possessed.
Slightly, no big deal.
Just a little. So what is the exact category you're going to be running at RPG Limit Break? Because for those who don't know, there are multiple full game categories of Final Fantasy IV.
Right, so we're going to start off with it being no 64.
Okay.
I think what will probably happen is there will be an incentive hit to reach all bosses. So you'll probably be fighting all the bosses in that run. To kind of differentiate between the categories, we have a any percent, which is a credit warp run. We have a no credit warp run, which doesn't use that credit warp and uses the 64 floor glitch, which allows you to go up and down the stairs 64 times, and through some magic and item manipulation, wind up at the end of the game after Dwarf Castle.
My favorite category.
And then there is no 64, which is... the only thing we really skip in that category is the sealed cave, which if we get all bosses, we will go to the sealed cave and we'll fight that evil wall.
Right, because it's all bosses, so you can't just skip it, even though you technically could, but...
Yeah, well, we'll come back to it. It's a little bit more fun that way. That's a little what we call in the business a tease for the kids.
Got it. Yeah. So that would be a lot better because no 64 doesn't mean no glitches. It just means you cannot use the 64 floor glitch. So no leg day. Just powering through and actually seeing the last third of the game.
Well, you do get to see Ruby's leg, so I mean, I guess that technically counts.
That's the most important leg day.
I mean, you could still technically do leg day. You just couldn't do all 64. Like, if you did, 62 and a half, I think that would still count as leg day, surely.
Yep.
So it sounds like an incentive waiting to happen.
Right? It's not too late. I think it's too late. Yeah, but
there's also a glitchless category that, it's pretty lowly played because the Japanese speedrun is usually run glitchless. So that tends to be where you would go if you would play that style. And also, there's maybe a new glitch we're coming up with called the Nuke glitch, which might be fun for everybody someday.
Yeah, having seen you do that in some of your own streams, it looks wild. It looks really interesting, and I really kind of can't wait for the day where we use it in some sort of run.
Yeah, it's amazingly stupid in that to get the spell Nuke on Palom, you need to level him to level 50, and that takes, based on the enemies that you can fight, the fastest we have done it IRL is 100 minutes. So once you get that, the rest of the game, very simple, very fast, but that is a long time to just wait there.
Hey, that's a lot of time for donations, right?
So it's definitely a lot of time for donations, yes. Yeah, and commentary and a podcast, maybe. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I was watching you when you were doing it, and I walked away for a bit. I had some things to do, and I came back, and you were. I was like, "Oh my god, this is a long level process."
Yeah, we've been working on that one in the FF4 Discord, and we've kind of slowly whittled it down, I think, to where it might be faster than No 64 regular.
Nice,
but it's very close.
Yeah, and with that much kind of just almost downtime in the middle, I don't know how entertaining it is. Probably fun to do.
Well, I submitted this category actually as part of my submission, and the way I presented it in a couple of different ways, but what I wanted to do was play a different speedrun while the grinding was happening.
What speedrun would you have done?
Final Fantasy VI's New Game Plus %.
Amazing. And how long is that one?
Which I think is under 20 minutes.
Oh, so is that the one with the 52 deaths, or?
No, that's one that Nirm debuted at GDQ a couple years ago, where you have the door timer and you take Terror and
yes, I do know that
run
one.
Around. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still using some of that tech in those runs.
Yeah, it's really exactly what's been happening to 6 as well.
Yeah, it's a great time to be like retro game. I put the quotation so I don't feel so old. RPG speedruns, like there's some really neat stuff going on, and seeing y'all working on the Final Fantasy IV run, which was static or fairly static for so long, is really neat.
Well, the interesting thing is, like, and this is something like I didn't really realize until I kind of went through it, is we ran No CW at Games Done Quick in 2018.
Yeah,
I think you were on the couch for that one.
I was.
And after that, a little game called Free Enterprise came out, and that kind of sapped a lot of the momentum of speedrunning vanilla.
Yeah.
And so like I had the Nuke glitch worked out already at that point, but between real life, which has been complex lately, and you know, all the COVID and just the randomizer taking over, I had to step back, and nobody really took up that mantle. So this is like coming back to something was new like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Finding it, dusting it off, and being like, okay, let's make this work. Let's make this pretty.
Yeah, that's fair.
For my personal commitment to the bit at this point, I feel I should point out that randos are trash, and so that everyone plays them.
Wow.
People, it's a bit. It's been a bit all along. Don't hate me.
You just want to call me trash. I get it. Whatever.
I wouldn't need that to call you trash, Netara.
Bob. We're so happy to have you here. But yeah, no, I do know that randomizers are interesting because, yeah, they're super fun. And some of the tech that folks have figured out through the randomizers has been really neat. But I don't think we found a lot which is super applicable, or any really, which has been super applicable to the vanilla run, at least for FF4.
Yeah, the only thing that we really took from there, and it's something that we kind of knew about already, was Penguin showing off that you can dupe through the treasure screen. And I actually used that in the Nuke Glitch run to create stacks of 256 life potions, because guess how many animals you have to kill to get Hallam to level 50? It's like 750.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was wondering how you got all those. That's awesome. What, you can't equip those? Haha.
No, you can't. You can't. You actually have to go in the first battle that you get in and use one from the stack, or it all goes away.
So
okay,
I know that it's as Poexel says in the Twitch chat, randomizers replacing interest in vanilla runs. That never happens. How, like, what was it that gave you the impetus to kind of come back to the vanilla run and just sort of start battening down? Was it the fact that you wanted to submit it, or was there to that?
So I actually came up with the idea for Free Enterprise. I kind of spent a lot of time on that. I'm one of many, but yes. Yes. And so I was a developer. I wasn't a coder or anything. Like, Wordface deserves all the credit for that. He did an amazing job. I just kind of brought the ideas to everybody's attention, did the item balancing, all that stuff, and then I stepped away from that in 2021, I want to say, like late 2021, and finally, like, you know, spending some downtime, like, what kind of video games do I want to work on again? I just really wanted to get the old game humming again, and I went back to No 64. We got the first sub 3. That was really exciting, and now that we got that, we're working on the Nuke Glitch, the other things, and maybe someday come back to No CW as well.
Yeah, how long were we working to try and get sub 3 on that No 64 run? It was quite some time, wasn't it?
It's been a meme for as long as I've been in the community, which was 2015. Was when
I think it was. We knew it was
the first Paladin tournament then.
Yeah, I think we knew it was possible, or like you were like, it should take just, you know, the perfect run, or, you know, new tech, and definitely good that we finally got it.
Yeah, and that's something that I've refined a little bit over time. Like, we had the Rosa route come in, and we got, I think that lowered everybody from like 308 to 302, 304, somewhere in that area, and then just gradually whittling down things with the Dwarf Axe and sort of cutting the unsexy parts of speedrunning, which is like, one thing I discovered the last time I came back was that every time that an enemy dies, if you run away, you can save anywhere between 4 and 6 frames, maybe more, depending on, you know, what's happening on the screen and how many characters are on the screen. And that actually adds up to a lot, because there's a lot of things that die over the course of that run.
Yeah, that's true. We learned that running away from things just ended up saving a lot of time, because I know even while I was more active, it was actually pretty soon after I came to the community, we found out, I think it was completely by chance, that running during the cutscene going into the Zeromus battle saves 12 seconds, which in or is it 12 frames? So I thought it was 12.
Nope. That was 12 whole seconds.
12 full seconds just by holding run while all your friends are coming in and saying, you know, hey, yo, you can do this. And you're like, I can't do this. It looks like I'm running away, but actually this is way faster.
That we have Mr. Fred Coughlin, F. Coughlin, to blame for, because he cut me in the category in OCW. But I think this was probably like a couple weeks before I got the world record. He cut me in the category, and he entered the Z fight after me. So I was like, naturally, like, wait a minute, how did that happen?
Yeah, I have to.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And yeah, didn't you put both the runs side by side, and his was literally going faster, and it was just because he was holding run, but he was just doing it because you just do things. You're just like, I'm just gonna hold these buttons. It doesn't do anything, but it makes me giggle to watch them run. And then you're like,
he was just memeing, exactly. And then it turns out the meme saved 12 seconds. Yeah. And then as I came back, I discovered also just how much time you save in that fight if you run. Like, you can save an additional like 8 to 10 seconds just running away from things in the first phase of the battle. So that really stacks up a lot of time that you wouldn't think about.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't really look like you're doing anything, but you are saving a lot of frames.
Oh, absolutely. And when you're in, like, again, it's a 2, 3, 4 hour runs, 12 seconds is a lot. Like, when you have your, like, 10-minute, 15-minute categories of things, that's also a lot of time, but people have usually routed out those kind of time saves. Usually it's like, I found a way to save like 1 or 2 frames, which is still important, but like 12 seconds, so much. That's so much time.
Yeah, especially in no CW where you're going literally sub 2 is the meme there. You got to get sub 2.
I still don't have
Everybody's got to get a sub 2.
It's my new goal.
Natara's got to get a sub 2. Bob, you got to get a sub 2. It's
Bob, come. We're going to go get sub 2. Or
hear me out here. No.
Or
I don't speedrun.
I was afraid you'd say that.
No,
you don't speedrun. You don't randomizer. What do you do, Bob?
I sit here and I look pretty.
Okay, you know what? I can't argue that. It's flawless. Just like you. Exactly. My God, I love it. Okay, so back to Final Fantasy IV or Rivers. We've been talking about Final Fantasy IV, and like that's great. But tell us about yourself. What sort of things do you do? Any other games you play?
Well, okay. I guess I'll oblige you.
You're so
on this.
kind. You're so kind.
So I have been a football writer on the internet for many years now.
Sports ball.
I've been writing about the NFL since 2009 or so.
Nice.
That's been my main occupation. I took a step back this year because my wife and I had our first child on
Congratulations.
June 29th, 2023.
Ooh,
and that kid
almost
is
a year old. That's amazing.
That kid is like 10 months old right now, and he demands a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Weird how they do that.
Yeah. So that's been the gist of my life recently is like, how can I speedrunning and get like this 30-minute chunk of time and make it applicable to, I've got a marathon run in like 3 weeks. How do I do this?
That's really good motivation though, to get your times down. It's like, if I can get my time down, I can do this while baby naps. We can do it. Let's go.
Yeah, but it becomes more segmented, and there's really there's no way I could do a 3-hour run while he's in the house. Like, that's just not possible.
No, and that's
he doesn't sleep that long, and so like what I'm doing is, okay, this is Mega Sisters to Rubicante. Yeah. We can do this chunk in this segment of time and get it done, and then he'll be awake.
Yeah. But again, speedrunning.
Yep.
Love it. That's so great. Okay, well then, the key question, we've got to ask it for our RPG speedrunners. Favorite Final Fantasy?
Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
I think Chrono Trigger's the best.
Okay.
I think my old answer to this was Barkley, but I feel like Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden has just aged a little bit too much now. I think we got to give it to Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, that's fair. Chrono Trigger, and the funny thing is, though, is Chrono Trigger's older, but Chrono Trigger, it's just so good.
Well, Barkley also came up with the sprites that Chrono Trigger uses, so I think Barkley technically is older.
Is it?
It's definitely not just using Chrono Trigger's sprite tiles, I'll tell you that much. That would never happen.
Okay, good. No game has ever done that.
Absolutely not.
No. My God, I love that for us. Have you ever thought about speedrunning Chrono Trigger?
I was in the inaugural, because after we did the Paladin tournament, there became like a short category RPG speedrun boon to some extent. Yeah. and they had a defeat Magus tourney that I was in.
Oh, yeah.
And I played very poorly because a lot of that run at the time what was popular was those cutscene skips where you kind of take the save and go in the room and reload, and then you don't even fight the boss at all. Yeah. And I found that kind of tedious and silly, and I wasn't fighting the bosses or having fun like I was playing Chrono Trigger at home. So, it was interesting. I enjoy watching it, but I don't really enjoy playing that category. Yeah. And the one thing I remember from that tournament was just naming Ayla waifu, and then everybody getting mad at me.
Why?
I think they just must not like her damage rolls or something. I think she might be the Tella of Chrono Trigger. I don't know.
I refuse to believe it. There's no way Ayla is that bad. There's no way she misses things with the regularity that Tella does.
That's what I was saying.
I don't care how useful Tella can be. I hate him, and you cannot make me like them. You cannot.
I'm sorry,
One of the things in the Friana... Sorry?
He's kind of essential to the new glitch run, too. I'm sorry, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Rivers, is your
mic
mute?
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry?
Okay,
there we go.
You were talking and we couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I was making a joke, actually. So, because you were going to mute my free speech of Tella being good and useful.
Only if I had that power.
Yeah, I was telling you that he's actually kind of essential to the new glitch run as well.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that makes total sense. And for our lovely viewers, we're using two different systems, so Rivers would have still come through for you all, but we're using Discord to hear Rivers. So he had something muted, and we were very sad because we want to hear him too.
Do we? He's okay, I guess.
I'm going to say yes.
Can you imagine putting him in the finale of a marathon? Who'd do that?
I know. Who'd do that? Oh, wait. I think we did that. Oh.
Yeah, that's... What were you guys thinking? I don't know.
Yeah, right? Oh, looks like we... Poexel coming in with the true word that the tech issue is due to Tella.
Oh, wow. I mean, he does miss the mute button a lot, so... That makes sense.
It's so true. I wish that were a joke. It's so true. And the life spell and anything useful. Anyways.
And the stop spell and the 3 rolls and...
He's so bad. Okay. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if you participated, but around the same time you're talking about with like the short games, one of the other servers I'm in, whose name I'm absolutely blanking on, I think it's RGLive, RGL, did the RPG Gauntlet, and so it was like 5 or 6 different RPG runs, and it was only like, when we say short runs, we mean like 10 to 15 minute like segments. So it was like Octoman % for Final Fantasy IV. And I remember Chrono Trigger being one of those runs. And I think it was just a Heckran. It was fairly, or actually I don't even know if it was that far, but I remember noticing that there was a lot of precision movement, even more so than there is in like Final Fantasy IV. And I was just like, I'm glad I've learned this segment of the run, but this is so precise. It's not for me.
Yeah. I also dabbled with Earthbound.
We can't hear you
at
again,
that time.
Rivers.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you said.
So in the meantime, while Rivers is dealing with tech issues, I will remind everyone that today is May 5th, which is the last day for the submission of prizes for RPG Limit Break. So if you head on over to the website at rpglimitbreak.com, and in the top there, you just click on the prizes. It will take you to a Google form which you could submit. I reached out to Amberly, our prize coordinator, earlier. Said, I want to give a huge thanks to everyone who has submitted prizes. A lot of awesome stuff so far. Today is the last day to submit prizes. So if you have something you want to donate, please make sure you submit the form before we close it tonight. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to her on Discord. It's at Amberly on our Discord. So please, if you're looking to submit a prize, I'd love to have it.
Prize it up. Prize it up. So I was saying, Netara, that I played the Earthbound Super Series at that time as well.
How far did that one go?
I got to the finals of that one, actually. Nice. I shouldn't have. There was no way I was as good as like half people who were playing.
Well,
but
obviously you were good enough to get to the finals.
It didn't really matter.
Was that one? Yeah. How far did that one go in the run?
That was to boogie tent. I think.
Oh, I remember this category. I didn't participate, but I think I remember you and others running in that.
Yeah, I played that one with Velociraptor 42 was in that, our friend. And,
nice.
I think they're still running those. Like, I think they still do them like yearly. That community is really deep and cool.
Which is
really appreciative of Earthbound community.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that was an age where there was a lot of those shorter runs, like Kefka and Narsh for FF6. I did participate in that one.
Yep.
Mystic Quest, but that wasn't a shorter run. That was just Mystic Quest. Which is also amazing if you're okay with wildly terrible RNG.
Mystic Quest is a great run to watch.
I legitimately thought you say if you're okay with a wildly bad game.
Well,
game. I was gonna be like, hang on a minute.
I can't even say it. I love Mystic Quest. It's actually like so good. Okay, mods, could we please ban Leggy Starscream in chat? Anyways, gotta go. Pazuzu is one of the big RNG points in that run. Not only for the fight, you can always restart those fights. You know, you die, you can just instantly restart from the beginning. So that part of Mystic Quest is amazing. But the RNG is terrible, so he could just do things. Plus, he has a tower with 7 floors. He could be on any of the first 6. And you have to find him, and you can lose as much as 6 minutes if he is on the incorrect floor, aka floor 2. And it's real bad, and you have no way to manipulate that unless they've figured it out since then, which was like 6 years ago.
Why would you have a tower with 7 floors and not be in the penthouse?
Because that's where the crystal is, and I guess you just don't want to be there. I don't know. They just
it's shiny, too shiny.
You get to go to the 7th floor when you beat him. But yeah, I agree with you, Bob. I'd be up there too. There's no ceiling, so you just get, the nice view, sunny day, but no.
Fresh air.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
What's outside? But yeah, there seems to have been there's kind of, I'd almost say that renaissance of these just shorter runs in those tournaments. And they were really good as an intro for both speedrunning and for, in general, RPG speedrunning, and to get you into these particular longer runs. I don't know about you, Rivers, but I was brought into the Final Fantasy IV community with the Paladin % tournament, which is that runs under an hour if you get your time down.
Yeah, that's what brought me in originally as well. I actually had no idea what I was doing. Still don't in some ways, but just trying to set up a stream for the first time, that was wildly confusing to me. I was really bad at capturing my Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. I struggled badly with all that. But then once it was all set up, the game playing came pretty naturally to me. So I think I got top 4 in the first Paladin tournament we did.
Nice.
At nobody saw it coming, and then from there I just only got more interested and deeper into the speedrunning hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I first started with the Paladin %, I was running with keyboard. So I wasn't even using a controller. I was on a laptop running from keyboard, and people wait, this person is completing runs on a keyboard? I'm like, yes. But it's a much nicer experience with a controller.
It was so nice because, in 2021 when I was doing all this randomizer stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, everybody could cheat. What if you lose to a cheater? What if we got to check this guy's VOD? And I remember just playing Paladin percent and just, being in the same room as the guy who I was, participating against, like in that tournament, just, shooting it while we go through the entire Paladin speedrun.
Well, and it's one of the things that we ended up starting at RPG Limit Break is, I think every year we have a Paladin percent tournament there. So, anyone who runs it or who wants to run it, we're like, hey, we're meeting at this time in the practice room. Bring your computer, your laptop, your console, your little game system, which is like screens that big, whatever. Come run Paladin percent with us. And it's one of my favorite experiences of RPG Limit Break every single year.
Feel free to come join us if you have never played it before. Yes. We're not going to be... We will teach you. We will, Fabul sounds terrible and it feels terrible, but you will get it.
Just save beforehand. I still to this day save outside of Fabul because Fabul can be terrible. But yeah, come, seriously, there's going to be a whole bunch of Final Fantasy IV speedrunners there this year. If you're on site, hit us up. We're pretty much always like, you want to learn FF4? Come, let us teach you, my Padawan.
I feel need to point out you won't be learning Final Fantasy IV. You'll be learning a rando of Final Fantasy IV.
No, most of us. Well, not most of us. Some of us. I haven't been in the rando community in years.
Yeah.
There's only one Padawan, and it's Vani.
How are we justifying this? Please explain.
I have been calling Vani my Padawan since I first gave him his first hosting orientation.
Fair. I wouldn't call him an FF4 Padawan, though.
You didn't say FF4 Padawan, you said
Padawan. You know what? Fair. Absolutely fair. Maybe
context is king, baby.
No, I refuse. I'm going to take the context and put it to my... I'm going to punch my mic.
Natara and context are two things that do not enter into the same conversation.
It's more fun that way to just not have it.
Captain non sequitur over here.
And I'm so proud. Yeah, we love it. We love all of it. But yeah, RPG speedrunning and I just find for speedrunning in general, if you have a game you want to run and it seems too much, don't run the whole game. Run a section. Pick a section you want and make it a speedrun. Learn it. Do what you have to. Submit it to things. You also don't have to be on a leaderboard of any sort to run a category or a game in something.
It's
many people aren't, in fact.
I talk about this a lot when I know I don't speedrun, but I have a lot of friends in the speedrunning community. Shocker. So on social media, it's often a big thing when game selections come out and things like that. Everyone's like, oh, I'm really sad my game didn't get in. You don't need other people to validate your fun, okay? You go out, do what you want to do, you have fun doing it, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. There's also, even if you don't get into the big event, doesn't mean you won't be accepted other places.
Yeah.
And stuff. I remember there was a year when I was still really big into my speedrunning. I submitted to 6 different events. This was when I was running Final Fantasy VII PC with the hopes that I would get into one. Y'all, I ended up in 5 out of 6 of them. And the 6th one I didn't get into was SGDQ. I've never had a run in a GDQ or RPG Limit Break. But every other thing I submitted...
We've got far too much for you to do to get runs.
Well, exactly. I'm not allowed to submit now. They had to take shifts away from me. I had too many. Anyways, but yeah, so I ended up with all of them. I even got to travel. I'm in Ontario and in Canada, and I got to go to Niagara Falls for a weekend to do a run, like a live in-person run with this. And so there's still lots of really cool events and stuff you can be part of. And who are just waiting to say yes. You just need to submit.
And that's the thing is, And that's what I'm trying to say is the Netara story is really true, but I feel the need to underline that events aren't the be all and end all of speedrunning.
Also,
I know this comes from a person sitting on a podcast devoted to a channel, to an event, who is the volunteer director for one of those events.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, speedrunning is about you taking a game that you want to do something with and having fun with it and picking a thing you want to do and just play it. Don't worry about other people validating your run or enjoy. Just do you.
Yeah. That's great advice, Bob. Actually, the first time that I had any interest in doing the Final Fantasy IV speedrun, I was just kind of mimicking it on my own, not online, not just like, oh, that's interesting how I did that. I'm going to start playing this. And I started playing it, a little bit here and there. I remember one time I had a date and I brought the date to my house and I was like, I think I just want to play this Fantasy IV instead.
Okay, I'm going to need more details. I'm going to need more details on this. Was it like a boring date or...
It was pretty dull, yeah. It was like a chill date. It was like we've been dating for like 3 months maybe. And I just brought this lady home and was like, okay, I'm going to play this run. And she fell asleep on the couch. And I was like, yeah, fair. But I mean, this is my fun, right? This is what I enjoy.
Yeah.
So yeah. This is what, if you can do something like that, then
I mean,
you should probably be in the community.
Yeah. And like, who hasn't been at a friend's house and it's just been like, oh, your TV's free and you've got this console. Welp, I'm just going to boot up and play and or practice this speedrun I know. And, just while people, I've literally done that at friends' houses. Yeah. Okay, listen, we're not talking to you, Bob. No, wait, we are talking to you, Bob. Maybe you should do that. It's super fun. Some people are interested. You get some people actually into it, and some people are like, wait, what did you do? And
like, I very rarely get to leave my house. If I'm going to a friend's house, I'm going to engage with my friends.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I can engage with my friends and do that. That's keeping my hands busy. And maybe I talk a little bit less that way.
No, probably not.
Just a tiny bit. Okay, maybe not. No, you're right. It's true.
Sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah, it's the most comfy one.
It's true.
With the cats, right?
The cats are also lies. And by lies, I mean liars. Who doesn't have a cat who tries to lie about having been fed? That's right, nobody. Because every cat. I'm unwilling to believe there's a cat in this universe who doesn't try and convince you they've never been fed. Because they're liars. And we love them.
I've got one right here who's telling me that.
Yeah, well, exactly. I don't think either of mine are here with me right now. But, they will. We have had instances of them and my rabbit getting double fed because they managed to be convincing enough to the other person. And the other person in the house wasn't close enough to quickly check. So they just convince you they haven't been fed. Then you feed them and they're like, why aren't you eating much today? This seems weird. You liar. Yeah. And as chat says, no cat has ever been fed. It's true. Oh, that is okay. That's a really, really good point in our Twitch chat from DJ Tifa Heart. Have we talked yet about twice Kotaku acclaimed riversmccown?
I think it's like 3 times. I don't even know.
It's 3 times now. Okay.
It's really weird because being part of online journalism in this era has just been like watching every website die. And I think Kotaku is now like one of the claimed in that sense. I don't know exactly what happened to them, but somebody took them over and it's bad now or something like that. Mm-hmm. And just, it's been really strange because what I need to pivot to now is like, I think the writer's last name is Schreier, Jason Schreier.
Yeah,
Jason Schreier acclaimed riversmccown because I can trust that guy. I can't trust any websites like that anymore.
That's fair. Yeah, what was it like when you were like going through that process? Like the first time he reached out to talk with you, what was that like?
I mean, I kind of always want to put my best foot forward when somebody asks for this sort of thing, because I appreciate how much it takes to ask for anything.
Yeah.
And like having run, Free Enterprise as a community director, I guess you would call it, for a while, like the number of people who have actually reached out and want to talk to me about something is startlingly small. People would rather like put their things in a forum or, kind of like avoid that human contact, because that can be draining to people.
Yeah. And
so whenever anybody actually reaches out to me, I'm like, okay, I get it. I want you to feel seen. I want to do whatever I can to help you out. Mm-hmm. And, with Jason in particular, we spent like an hour and a half on the phone going over, so here's how you do the 64 floor glitch. This is why it kind of works. And, getting a good article out of that, getting a good article out of, I think we did a Free Enterprise one at some point. Like there was 2 or 3 times that we got on the phone and talked about everything.
Yeah, because the first one was from when you were in AGDQ with FF4, correct?
Correct, yeah.
That was such a fun run. How did that run feel? I know we brought it up earlier, but do you want to talk about that run?
That was really an interesting time in my life, because I feel like I could never go back to that right now.
Yeah.
Just that was almost, it's almost 10 years ago now. And I was a totally different person.
Yeah.
And it was the right moment for me.
Like
it was the right moment
10 years ago, or the 2 years ago that feels like 10 years ago?
I think
the actual 10 years ago.
No, it wasn't that long.
2018 to 2024.
It's only 6 years.
It's closer to 10 than 2.
Yes, you're correct. However, it's still only 6, and I will fight you.
Yeah, that was just the right time. Yeah. That was the right time for me to show that off. And it was interesting bringing that to GDQ, because even though that was the game I got my first world record in, I never really felt like that was my category. And to be able to show off and do as well as we did with character renames, I think we got like a 203 or something, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a really good time.
That was a culmination of a lot of practice and a lot of practice time, and that will never happen again for me because I have a kid now. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, they definitely take up some time. So, what's the first speed run you are going to, or first speed run, or the first game you're going to try and introduce to your kid, or you're just going to try and let it happen organically? Some folks have plans for that.
The first speedrun's got to be change his own diaper, right?
I mean, that would be great, but I feel like he would fail that one often, and that would leave me with cleanup.
Resets on that run are quite expensive.
Yeah. It's not great. So I don't have any plans to introduce him to speedrunning, like to force him there. I don't want to push him in a direction. Have we watched speedruns together? Sure. And he tends to be more into and this is something that I hadn't really thought about before, but makes sense. He likes Mario speedruns. He likes the sounds, how cute they sound. He likes watching Mario 3 a lot. The
colors, the bright, the shiny, the constant movement, that does make sense for his age.
Yeah, and so I try to get him to watch baseball or something. Not interested. Not interested in the slightest. But watching Mario 3 is okay, yeah, I can chill and watch Mario 3. Sure, let's do this.
I'm an adult and same.
Are you?
The creaks in my knees tell me yes. But I'm a known sports ball lover, haha.
Oh yeah. When you guys were talking about Final Fantasy XIV before we hopped on stream, I wanted to reply and tell you about how Kevin Gosman's XFIP is ruled by his swinging strike rate, and just kind of see what you felt about that.
Listen,
that's about what I got out of that 14 conversation.
I'm so happy about you and your love of sports, and anyone's love of sports. But yeah, 14 is my sports equivalent. It's oh, y'all are going to talk about sports? Have you heard about the critically acclaimed MMO at Final Fantasy 14?
Just don't call it football.
But that's a whole different sport.
Just saying, just don't call it football.
What was the one that was popular online for a little bit that was something ball?
Oh, Blazeball.
Blitzball?
Blitzball, yes. No, Blitzball is what I'm talking about. No.
Blitzball or Blazeball? The one
Blazeball.
that was it the spooky baseball equivalent?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about. Blitzball was great, though.
Yeah,
shout out to FF10.
So Netara once tried to get me into Blazeball to the point she got on. They got on Discord with me and started walking me through everything, and I'm just sat there going,
It's the closest I've ever been to liking sports. Infinite. It was the Unlimited Tacos was my team. Yeah. Yeah, from the Infinite Los Angeles area. You know.
The Infinite, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Listen, we managed to work the system so we had no pitcher. We got rid of literally all of our pitchers to see what would happen. We wanted to see if that would break the game.
Feels a bit like the Washington Nationals last season.
And they gave us a robot, but it was great. We managed to kill, and not just get rid of, but I think kill all of our pitchers. Yes, it was an interesting game, y'all.
That's the Miami Marlins this year.
Yes, we should, but to drag it back to Final Fantasy, Blitzball is one of the few, because I'm quite outspoken about my love of Final Fantasy X. I really, really enjoy that game, and I am one of the few people I know that invested so many hours into Blitzball.
No, I literally dated and was living with someone at the time who was just like, I don't care about this plot. I care about Blitzball. And I have never seen, he just went through it all. And I was like, I have never seen anyone level these characters to the point they were successful in this game. And he was like winning games. And I was like, this is amazing to watch. Like, he was really good at the Blitzball.
My first playthrough of Final Fantasy X, I won 17 seasons in a row.
There's that many seasons?
Well, you can just keep playing it.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
So there's a mechanic in the game where you have to play through it to get, like, Whacker's ultimate weapon and his ultimate limit break.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat random as to when those show up, or at least I think it is. Okay. So you just have to keep playing it until they show up as a prize for the season. Okay. And even once you've got those, you can just keep playing and playing and playing and playing. And I ended up just playing like 17. I won like 17 seasons in a row.
I really enjoy that in the 10 speedrun, you just sit there with the ball and you don't do anything. I think it's great.
I know, like, people are like, whenever Square Enix is teasing a new thing, people are just, there's always this segment of people who are always like, Blitzball? Because seriously, if they made a game that was just seriously a sports game, but it was Blitzball, they would actually sell so much. Yeah. Like, it literally would, but they just don't.
And because they care, it would be better than most sports games because, the state of sports games.
Yeah. My favorite Final Fantasy X story. Whenever I tell people this, they just look at me like, "Wait, what?" The first time I have a deep-seated irritation with Yuna. They annoy me to my core in a way that I can't describe, and I don't know why. So the first time I played Final Fantasy X, I never used her at all. Never leveled her up except when I had to. I never used her except when I had to for like the Aeon battles.
Yeah.
So when I got to the final boss of that game, it might have been the easiest thing I've ever done in a Final Fantasy game.
Because none of the summons were leveled up.
Because none of my summons were leveled up.
Oh my gosh.
So they'd appear, and like my absolutely yoked out Auron and my completely hench Waka would just look at them and they would fall over.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I have a friend who did that exact thing, but with Waka. They were just like, no, all these levels you're getting just from existing, I'm not even giving them to you. You're going to sit here with 99 like spheres and I'm not even spending them.
To this day, I will not use... I play that game regularly. I will never use Unite. I make Kamari my white mage.
Fair. So that is one of the beautiful things about the customization of 10. You can do that.
Sphere Grid was so good.
Yeah.
Confusing for a newcomer, but so good.
Sometimes confusing for a veteran as well. I certainly didn't know how to use it effectively. Other than making, Riku too powerful. Yeah, Rivers, go ahead.
Final Fantasy X was my wife's favorite game growing up, so nice. I actually had never played it until I met her.
Okay.
And then I did a casual playthrough of it, discovered... I think it's called Trio of 9999, and then just blew the rest of the game out of the water.
Amazing. Did she love that you did that, or was she like, how are you doing this to my game? How dare you?
The second one, yeah.
I thought
Unfair. Did not suffer like I did.
Yeah. What do you mean? You're just breezing through this game. Then you show her so when is she going to start speedrunning Final Fantasy X?
No.
Never. She's like, no.
No, she's good.
She's going to do a Sistara. Well, she hasn't even done a Sistara where Sistara came and learned Kefka and Narsh, got exactly one time on the board, and just quit speedrunning forever.
Well, I can't get her enough time to play a game casually all the way through.
Yeah.
There have been so many games that I have owned that I've been like, you should try this, and then halfway through, or maybe even a quarter way through, she's like, this part's tough. I'm out.
You know what?
So
fair.
Yeah, it's totally
it's
cool.
why I always the people that spurge Lord online that are like, games are too easy. Why do we have difficulty settings? Because there are people out there that have 20 minutes a day to play and want to finish games.
Yeah, it will exactly that. And it's a combination of that, but it's also a combination of we have different skills and abilities in real life.
Yeah.
And there are so many games that people are like, wow, that's real easy. And I'm like, I can't finish it. I can't even get halfway through. This is past my difficulty level.
I literally haven't been able to play a Final Fantasy since 13.
Yeah.
Because my hands don't do that kind of combat.
Yeah.
I've not been able to physically play Remake or Rebirth yet, which is killing me because I love Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got through a little bit through 12. That was my 2021 crowning achievement of COVID or whatever it was. Just I got through that,
nice.
Put my feet in, and then all of a sudden the PS3 died, and goodbye. Goodbye saves. Goodbye saves.
Rest in 12. Peace, brave soldier.
Yeah. I was really loving 12. I'll start playing it, I'll be really enjoying it, and then I'll get distracted by a different game. And then eventually I'll come back to 12, I'll continue from where I was, be like, yeah, I remember why I was really enjoying this, and then get distracted by a new shiny. One of these days I'll finish 12.
I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy 12 or 13.
Fair. I love
it. It was more the control schemes.
Of course, yeah.
But... 15 and 16 and the two Final Fantasy games, that kind of combat, I mean, there's a reason I've never gone through Spectacle Fighters and that kind of thing, because they're way more Spectacle Fighters than they are any kind of RPG for me, and my hands just don't do that, and it's really frustrating to not be able to play games in a series I love.
Mm-hmm.
And have to sit back and watch. As much as there's a huge space around content creators playing games and us absorbing them, being able to just experience it on my own time, being able to experience it it's really frustrating.
Yeah,
that there's no accessibility options in those games that make it more
Yeah, I find that with a lot of the Metroidvanias. I've started getting into those recently, and like Hollow Knight, I've started playing. I'm loving it. It's so much fun. I've just had to stop playing it. I just cannot do the things it wants me to do, and there's no option to make it easier. Unlike, most of the Metroidvanias I've finished are because they have easy modes, and that's fair. Also, I need to note, Rivers, could you please introduce us to your friend?
Oh,
you mean the one who's been
taken over?
The one who's been whining over here for food for like 25 minutes?
Oh, we couldn't hear. Yeah, that one.
This is Carrot Cake.
Hi, Carrot Cake.
She's a lovely 13-year-old cat.
Oh.
We miss her sister very much, and she's fine every day. She's a good cat. Mm-hmm.
She's sharing her bath time with us, which is just precious.
Oh yeah, she'll do that for you guys. Not anybody else though.
Okay.
Nobody IRL. Nobody. That's a runaway. But but for the internet, because she doesn't know any better. Okay.
Yeah, fair. So
has yet to become familiar with the concept of cameras.
No.
And and hopefully for us, they never will.
Yeah.
So Rivers, kind of twofold, because we're getting near the end here. What are some games, are there any games casually you're either currently playing or looking forward to playing with any bit of time you have? And similarly, are there any new speedruns you want to learn or anything you're trying to do with your current speedruns?
I mean, besides the nuke glitch stuff, that's taken up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to go in and play some casual games. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I have that time currently. The last one I really went in on was Shredder's Revenge, and that's just because I'm a turtle head from like the early 90s. So that kind of hit me in the right spot. I kind of want to play. I want to get that Chrono Cross collection, the one that released a couple years ago, and play Radical Dreamers.
Yeah, Radical Dreamers is fun. I can't remember how I played it, but I know I have played it.
I used to be in a WoW guild called Radical Dreamers.
Amazing.
I'd never touched that game before, and just like I've played, I've watched enough Trigger and Cross lately. I've been like, okay, what's that game like? I should probably figure that out.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize. I don't think I clued in. I probably should have, being the Radical Dreamers collection, that it came with that. Well, you have to let us know how it goes if and when you get it.
That's exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah. What? That requires reading the tin. So Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
It sounds like it was good. Does it hold up like the old games?
It plays a lot like the old games. Okay. That's what I was looking for. I wanted like my Turtles in Time kind of brawler, side-scrolling
diagonal kicking.
Yeah. Oh, I had fun with that game. I'm not good at it, but I had fun with it.
Same.
I put far too much money into that arcade cabinet when I was a kid.
Oh.
Yes.
And The Simpsons.
Every Chuck E. Cheese trip when I was a kid just ended with me throwing every bit of money into that. And then all the other kids would have like the tickets, and they'd be like, oh, well, we got to get a comb. And I was like, I don't care. I got Ninja Turtles time.
Yeah, you're like, I played times. Okay.
Do not care.
Important question. Favorite turtle?
Donatello.
Yeah.
Knew there was a reason we were all friends. Okay, that's good. Friendships retained.
I mean, without him, that show falls apart in like 3 episodes. He invents like every plot device.
It's how you know you're with the nerds, because we're all just like, obviously Donatello's the best one. He's the nerdy turtle.
No, he's the one that literally allows that team to function.
Well, also that. He's the confident
because the other three are totally dysfunctional.
Yes.
In completely different ways, but yes. We love them so much. Well, is there anything else you want to say? Anything you want to kind of promote, Rivers?
I mean, I would say that I'm going to Netara be doing a speed run at this RPG Break place.
Okay.
In
Me neither.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Ooh.
It turns out that it's going to happen in like 3 weeks. So I'm very, very excited for that. Very nervous for that, really. I'm trying to do as much prep time as I can, and it's been very difficult. So I'm anxious I'm nervous about it, but also I'm looking forward to putting on the best show I can, even if that wouldn't have been what I would say like 3 years ago, because I wouldn't have a kid. But yeah, it's been very interesting training, and everybody should tune in, check it out. I have a great couch planned out where I'll have Wexel and Exodin, who does all the Final Fantasy IV website stuff, needs a shout out for sure. And then I think somebody on this podcast is on it. Is it Bob? Maybe
Bob's on your couch? That's so cool. Yeah, I was going the same way.
No, Natara's going to be on the couch. So.
Hello, it's me. I've never been on a Final Fantasy IV couch before for
I was going to say, is someone magically teleporting me to Utah? Because I'm not even going to be in the city.
Watch remote commentary.
But I'm remote hosting the run beforehand, so that's going to get really complicated.
Easy transition, obviously. But yeah, I'll be on Rivers' couch. And listen, I am completely and utterly biased, but I think that Rivers does an amazing run. He knows this game, and watching him play through and do these speed runs is incredible to watch. As either someone, like, it's always really good to watch someone who is really good at speedruns do their stuff, but like, I know a lot about these runs and I'm watching him going, how does he do it? It's not possible. I don't get it. And it's just amazing. So definitely tune in for the whole event, but definitely make sure to catch the finale run of Final Fantasy IV, which is going to be run by Rivers. So can't wait to see you there in person and all y'all at home. And we'll definitely see you again soon. Thanks for being here with us, Rivers.
Quickly before we go,
Bob first.
I have to remind everyone, this is the last day to submit your prizes.
Please give us prizes.
Please go over to the Limit Break website. Come on, words, do the smart making. Word's good. Go over to the Limit Break website, click the prizes tab in the top bar, and you'll get access to a Google form. Submit your prizes. Close that tonight. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our prize coordinator, Amberly, on our Discord. Sure, they will be able to help you out. So,
Amberly's great.
I want to say a really huge thank to everyone that volunteered to help us do this event as the volunteer director. And since I'm not going to be on site to say this to everybody, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of our volunteers. Thank you to all of my role coordinators who worked their butts off to get the schedule out in time. Thank you so much. It brings such a huge smile to my face every year. Thank you.
Yeah, and if audio breaks, it's my fault. Sorry.
Yes. Definitely Netara and not Ashen at all.
Yeah, it's my fault this year. Ashen has passed all blame for audio over to me this year. Yep. So get ready for #blame Netara. So thank you again, Rivers, so much. Any last words before we sign off?
Has that ever not been #blame Netara? Has that ever happened?
Gotta go. Okay, thanks everyone, and we'll definitely see you all between May 19th and 26th for RPG Limit Break. Bye.
Peace. Be excellent to each other.